Medicine wasn't always what it is today, and as a result, when people got sick, they normally ended up dying from it. When a pestilence spread through Italy one year, the first sign of the illness was sneezing. As a result, the Pope issued a warning telling the healthy to God bless the sick in order to try and save lives by the grace of His holiness. Why people knock on wood is not completely understood, but there are two widely accepted theories. In ancient Europe, peasants used to knock loudly on wood in order to ward off evil spirits, or in other terms, to keep out bad luck. Another possibility is that when people take an oath, they touch a cross made of wood. It is possible that the thought of God could ward off bad luck as well. The ancient Greeks used to believe that the metal horseshoes were made of would ward off evil spirits. Horseshoes also took on a similar shape to that of a crescent moon, which represents fertility and good fortune. Tipping one over was considered to be spilling out the goodness and was considered unlucky. In order to ward out evil spirits, people would nail horseshoes face up on their door in order to protect their houses. Back in ancient times, the Egyptians looked for God in all things. Triangles were one of the most common because their three pointy ends represented the Holy Trinity. Ladders that were leaned against walls formed this exact triangle. When prisoners were taken to the gallows, they first walked under a ladder, of course forming the Holy Trinity, in order to desecrate it, and desecrate the holiness. This gave them no hope of an afterlife, and as a result, walking under ladders was considered bad. Mirrors used to be used as a way to tell the future and predict people's health. People also used to believe that your health cycle would renew every 7 years. Therefore, a distorted image caused by a broken mirror equated to 7 years of bad health, and since then it has evolved into 7 years of bad luck. Salt used to be considered a prized possession when it came to preserving food. Therefore, it became an overall prized possession because it could help avoid starvation. As a result, spilling it and ultimately wasting it is considered terrible luck. The Sumerians were the first to start throwing it over their left shoulder in an attempt to undo the bad luck, but why they picked that is unknown. Umbrellas weren't always as easy to open and as well made. The first umbrellas had clunky springs that were forceful when triggered, and they had large metal spikes poking out on the sides. When they were first made, opening this kind of umbrella indoors could easily injure someone or cause damage to surrounding objects. As a result, it was considered highly unlucky and dangerous to open umbrellas inside. Contrary to popular belief, black cats were not always considered bad luck. Long ago in the Middle Ages, they were considered bad luck because they were considered to be pets of witches. As witch hysteria died down, so did the idea that black cats were bad luck. At some point, people began to think that cats were good luck and good companions, until one day King Charles I's beloved black cat died, and he declared himself unlucky as a result. Unfortunately, this was further compounded by the fact that the following day he was charged with high treason. From then on, black cats were back to being considered unlucky and have stayed that way ever since. 12 gods were invited to dine at the Valhalla, leaving the 13th, the god of evil, out. When he showed up out of spite and anger, battle ensued, and one of the good gods was killed as a result. Ever since then, number 13 has been considered unlucky. As it turns out, it doesn't have to be Halloween in order for things to be scary. You could break a mirror any day of the week or spill salt at any dinner table. But why do we still know what these superstitions are today? How do we still consider these to be valid? Well, it all comes down to storytelling. Superstitions get passed on, as do hauntings and other stories of ghosts and ghouls. They get passed down from generation to generation, and sometimes they get changed or altered, but the fact of the matter is that they will probably always be prevalent in our societies, because who else is going to scare you if not for your grandmother? Unfortunately, not all superstitions and hauntings are harmless. Some of them are simply old wives' tales. Some of them are not, if you're a very superstitious person. However, some of them are very, very real. For example, animals with black fur are far less likely to be adopted than those with any other color. As a result, the ASPCA is allowing people to adopt animals that have black fur for free every Friday the 13th in order to try and give them loving homes. Maybe you should avoid the creepy house down the hill, but but you shouldn't avoid animals just because your mother told you to watch out for black cats.